What if the biggest thing holding you back is not failure, not bad luck, not even a lack of talent? What if it is simply this: you keep stopping before your effort has time to work? In a small, peaceful town lived a young man named Arian. He had a dream that burned deep inside him. He wanted to become a writer, not just someone who filled pages with words, but someone whose stories could move people, inspire people, maybe even change lives. His imagination was endless. Ideas came to him all the time. He could picture the future he wanted so clearly. But there was one problem. Arian could not stay consistent. One day, he would feel fired up, sit down, and write with passion. 2 pages, 3 pages, maybe more. In those moments, he felt unstoppable, like this was finally the start of something great. But the next day, that energy would disappear. He would tell himself he would get back to it later. Later became tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. Then he would start something new. A journal, a fresh outline, a different story idea. And once again, after a few days, he would abandon it. This pattern kept repeating. Weeks passed, then months. And even though his dream stayed alive in his heart, his actions were all over the place. Nothing was lasting. Nothing was building. His effort was scattered, like pieces of a puzzle he never finished. Have you ever felt that? Like you want something so badly, but your own inconsistency keeps pulling you away from it? One evening, frustrated and tired of disappointing himself, Arian walked down to the river. He needed silence, space to think, space to breathe. As he stood near the water, something caught his attention. An old man was standing beside a huge rock, holding a tiny chisel in his hand, and with calm focus, he struck the stone again, and again, and again. The sound was small, and the movement was simple, but the old man never stopped. Arian watched in disbelief. How could something so small possibly shape something so strong? And without realizing it, Arian had just stepped into the moment that would change the way he saw success forever. Sometimes, the lesson you need most comes from the simplest moment, and it can change your life forever. Arian stepped closer and asked the old man, "How long have you been working on this stone?" The old man smiled, paused, and said, "For 2 years, 1 hour a day." Arian was stunned. 2 years? With such a small tool, on a rock this massive? He could not understand it. So he asked, "Didn't you ever get tired? Didn't you ever feel like giving up?" The old man looked at him with calm, steady eyes and said, "This tool is small, yes, and one strike may seem useless. But real change does not happen all at once. It happens little by little, day by day. The stone does not break because of one powerful hit. It changes because I return to it again and again." Those words hit Arian harder than anything he had heard before, because suddenly he saw himself. He saw all the times he had started with excitement, only to quit when progress felt slow. He saw how he had been waiting for big results from small bursts of effort. And for the first time, he understood the truth. Success is not built in giant leaps. It is built in small steps repeated over and over. That night, Arian went home with a different mindset. He stopped thinking about writing an entire book. He stopped chasing huge bursts of motivation. Instead, he made one small promise to himself. He would write just 1 page every day. Not 10 pages, not a masterpiece, just 1 page. Because sometimes the habit that changes your life begins with a goal so small, you have no excuse not to do it. At first it felt easy, even exciting. Every day he sat down and wrote. Some days the words flowed naturally. Other days they came slowly. But then the real test began. There were mornings when he felt lazy, Nights when he felt tired, moments when doubt whispered, "This is pointless. One page is nothing." But this time, Arian did not stop. He remembered the old man, he remembered the stone, and he kept going. Even on the hard days, he wrote something, a few lines, a paragraph, one page, because now he knew every effort counted, and little by little, without realizing it, he was no longer just dreaming about becoming a writer. He was becoming one. What happens when you stop waiting to feel ready and start showing up no matter what? Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and slowly, something incredible began to happen. The pages started piling up. What once felt impossible now sat right in front of Arian, one page at a time, 50 pages, 100 pages, then even more. And one day, he looked down at the stack of paper on his desk and realized something he had only dreamed about before. He had finished his first book. Not because of one perfect day, not because of a sudden burst of genius, but because he kept going when most people would have stopped. For a moment, he felt proud, relieved, hopeful. But the journey was not over. Arian sent his manuscript to publishers, believing this might finally be his chance. He waited for replies, and when they came, they were not what he hoped for. One rejection, then another, then another. The same old doubts came back, louder than before. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe this was all a waste. Maybe you should quit. And this is where most people walk away. Not because they cannot succeed, but because discouragement convinces them to stop too early. But Arian was not the same person anymore. He had learned something stronger than motivation. He had learned discipline. He had learned consistency. So instead of giving up, he did what changed his life in the first place. He kept writing. Another page, another story, another submission. He stopped measuring success by immediate results. He started measuring it by faithfulness to the process. And after years of steady effort, something finally changed. One of his books was accepted, then published, then read. And before long, the young man who once could not finish a few pages became known for words that touched thousands of lives. So remember this: success is rarely about doing something big once. It is about doing something small, again and again, until the impossible becomes real. A river shapes stone drop by drop. A craftsman shapes rock strike by strike. And a person transforms their life choice by choice, day by day. So do not underestimate your small efforts. Do not quit because progress feels slow. Keep showing up, keep building, keep going. Because your future is not created in one dramatic moment. It is created by what you do consistently every single day.